Hey there, my little starlights. Hello, hello. While I was streaming over at twitch.tv/EternalYami, one of my viewers asked me for help on understanding the character and how the game works, and I promised them that I'd make a small video sort of going over little things, little tips, and little advice on how to better your account, how to do more damage, how to play the game, etc. etc. And I thought, you know what? Why not sit down and just make a full-on guide to the game? This is not going to be an in-depth guide. This is not going to be an end-game guide. This is going to be a... You just started the game. You're looking to find out how things work, what you should be doing, what you should be aiming for, and just to help you make it through in case you're lacking damage or you're lacking the idea of where to go and what to do. So, the first thing you'd want to know is your character level, the person that you're playing, the team that you're building. The first thing you want to start with is their actual level itself. The level is tied into three key systems. One is your star level, which is the level of the world that you're in. Depending on your level is depending on how high you can ascend them. The second thing you're going to need to understand is ascension material. Every character has a different type of essential material, a different type of thing that they will need, a different type of way you will grind. The third thing you'd have to know is how to grind them. So usually when you come here, they will tell you two options on where to find it. Some like these have multiple options. They drop from mobs in the overworld, they drop from simulated, we will touch on that later. There's the Omni Synthesizer, which is something you just exchange. And then there is the commission that you can do to grind it out. The other thing you want to do when you're going through your character is their light cone. Your light cone is basically, if you've played the Genshin or any other game like that, it's basically your weapon. But in this game, it's just a flat card. Different characters have different light cones, and light cones have the same ascension system, where you're going to need level up mats, and then upon level up mats, you need ascension material. The same thing counts for this. There is a way you can synthesize it, there's an exchange, and then there is the way you can go and you can grind it with resin. Different characters have different uses. There are different light cones for different type of characters. There is the destruction, the harmony, the hunt. So knowing which light cones is usable on which characters is very important. Usually what I would personally do is I would go to a website, I'll most likely link it down below, that tells you exactly what is the best in slot light cone, best in slot gear, etc, etc. But normally for now, you can just use whatever you have since you're most likely a starter and level it up, get it as high as you can for now. Don't worry too much about mats. Mats will come in time. After this, your next thing is your traces. Your traces is basically your talents. These are where your numbers scale. Again, same system. There are mats you're going to have to farm to be able to level up your traces. Leveling up your traces increases the base numbers of all of your abilities. They help you scale and help you do a lot more damage. If you're struggling in a damage apartment, this is where you are going to have to do most of the heavy lifting. After traces, there are your relics. These are basically your gear. For now, until you reach probably AR 50 plus, your relics are not that important. You're going to be spending most of your resin, most of your trailblaze power on leveling your character, leveling your light cone, and getting your traces up. Your relics will come later on, but the game does a good job of passively giving you good relics as time passes on. Lastly, there is Eidolons, which are dupes of the exact same character. Most of the times, this is not for most people. Unless you're a whale, I would not advise whaling because this game is pretty free-to-play friendly. A lot of the mobs are really, can't say easy, but they're well balanced around you having to play the game rather than just spending money and winning. You can if you like, but I wouldn't advise it. Now, that being said, there is one key thing that will alter how well your characters do. You can build whatever character you want, but you need to understand that characters fall into a tier system. There is types, there is support, there is healers, there's tanks, and there's DPS. There's sub DPS, and then there's enablers. So in this team comp, I'm running a healer, a shielder, which is an enabler, quote unquote. I'm running a sub DPS and a main DPS. Natasha is my healer. She's a physical. March is cryo. Himiko is pyro. And Blade is wind. The reason why this is important is because most mobs in the game work on an elemental system. The element that the mob is weak to, you would want to have one of that in your party. Why? Because break effects are very important. Being able to break the enemy's defense, being able to apply your break effect, being able to attack them without them attacking you back is a massive mechanic. So your team building is going to be important. So what I would say is pick one character that you really like, and I'll most likely post a site down below where I can where you can go and you can look up the characters you like. If you like, later on I can make a follow-up video doing team building so I can help you understand the concept of team building, because personally I really love team building. Like, I'd sit down and I'd Stormbrain 5 different teams. They will suck, some of them, but I enjoy team building a lot. And if you'd like me to go down and make some teams for you, you can probably leave a comment down below saying, I like this character, I like that character, can you make a team around that for me and help me clear content? That is perfectly fine. Now, with the character system out of the way, you're gonna wonder, okay, now I understand that that's how I can improve my character, but what do I do when I log in? How do I improve my account itself? And there are 4 main things that you can consistently do for improving your account. The first one I want to touch on is the daily system. In this game, you log in and you come here, this resets every day. It's a list of little achievements, quote unquote, but they're more like just things you can do. There are ones you can target and ones you can do passively. The game says, listen, if you want to just log in and do dailies, you can just log in and do dailies. Or if you just want to log in and play the game and you can passively get your stuff done, you can passively get your stuff done. This is a great source of EXP to level up your AR, your Trailblaze level is what it's called in this game. Getting your dailies done is, you can almost get a half to a third of your entire Trailblaze level done on low levels, that is, just by doing your dailies. When you're done with your dailies, you'll usually want to empty what we call Trailblaze power, or good old resin. So if you come here, you have Trailblaze power. You have 180 of it, it caps off, and it resets, well, usually it resets every 16 hours if you empty it now. But in the future patch, they're going to increase the amount that you have, so it resets every 24 hours. So there's nothing to worry about. But this is your way of grinding stuff like EXP for your characters, EXP for your light cones, your things for your mats for your traces. You want to make sure you're emptying this almost as soon or before they max out. And this is the currency that you're going to use to make sure you get your stuff for your characters. making sure you get your level for them, making sure you get your level for your traces, making sure you get your mats for everything. Now, if you're ready for something more serious and you're a bit higher in the game, you can come over here and you can go to the Forgotten Hall. If you played Genshin before, the Forgotten Hall is sort of like the Abyss. It's sort of like an endgame system. When you come here, you have a star system. You are required to defeat X enemy in a certain amount of time, downs, and cycles. And they give you very good rewards. This is sort of the end game of the stuff. You get 200 jade premium pull currency per 3-star of it. And there is, I'm pretty sure there's like 15. Yeah, there's 15 per. And then there's another set, but this account is a bit low. It doesn't have it unlocked yet. That's perfectly fine. There's other things though. Doing the Forgotten Hall will give you a small shop currency. I'm pretty sure it's called Afterglow. Yeah, it is. And this allows you to buy light cones, weapons for your characters. And these 4-star weapons are really, really good. I'm pretty sure I'm using almost all of these. I'm using a Serious Breakfast, Worth Walk Time, for Marta. I have Past and Future. I'm also using that. I need to get more for Marta though, for my Kafka that I'm running. And that is the Forgotten Hall. But this might be a bit harder since the Forgotten Hall is technically endgame content, and you're more looking for a bit of a current content, something you can do that's repeatable but gives you good rewards. That's where I shall take you to Simulated Universe, just down here. The Simulated Universe is a repeatable, how to say, it's like a dungeon crawler. It's like a roguelike. So you come in, these are your rewards you can get. This is another way to like grind materials as well by clearing out the mobs in here. And you make your ferment team, you come here, you clear your mobs, and they give you a good bit of rewards. These are the rewards you can get every week. This resets. So you have to be able to grind this almost every week. It gives you Primo Gems, it gives you standard pulls, and it gives you Trace of Destiny, which is this is basically like what a crown is in Genshin. It's the, I want to invest all of my resources in this character, and I want this character to be really strong because I really like this character. So you can grind this out almost weekly. And this is personally my favorite content in the game. My personal account is a lot higher. I think like I'm at like 10k here. So for me on this account to make the 3-5, I'd have to clear this out maybe 3 times, maybe 4 times if I fail it. So it allows you to understand a lot more of the game, and there's a lot more as well. There's the tree ability, the ability tree. This is just, the more you play, the more points you get, the more stats, the more abilities, the more things you can unlock. There's also the index. This allows you to be rewarded for playing. There are buffs in the game that you can collect, and when you collect a certain amount of buff, it gives you rewards. And it's for all of the different types of units in the game. Now, there are events that happen as well, and you get rewards for the events. So the more you play, the more you get, the more reward. You see the flow here? So this is the repeatable content that you would most likely want to do every week. This would be consistent EXP, consistent mats, consistent jades, and it's a lot of fun. Recently I ran one of these and I dropped 150k on my Kafka alt, and I was hyped out of my mind. It was so enjoyable. This is genuinely my favorite part of the game. And speaking of jades, you might be wondering, okay, that sounds fun, but what are the consistent way of grinding stellar jades in the game? And that one that I just showed you is one of the most consistent ways. because it's repeatable. You get it almost every week. But there are other ways that you can get jades. And one of my favorite ones is actually exploration. If you come here and you look through each of the zones, there's a little number in the top here that tells you how many chests there are and how many warp turtles there are. Chests give you primo gems for unlocking them. Not primo gems, stellar jade. Sorry, I was playing Genshin before recording this. It's like 5 in the morning for me. And warp turtles just give you extra mats for killing it. So you want to go out of your way to clear all of these. And it's not just one area. I'm pretty sure all the areas of the map, have them. So this gives you reason to explore, reason to go back, reason to clear, reason to look around, reason to do the puzzles, reason to be in the world. But this is a good way to grind jades. Another way is just by completing quests. This game is very generous when it comes to gems, especially when it comes to quests. Oftentimes, it just gives you 60, 80, 100, and then there are the minor quests like these that gives you 30 when you complete them. And I can't tell you how much I enjoy the questing in this game, because most of the quests are very well written and they're very direct. You go to the quest, you do the quest, you get your reward. Sometimes my problem with Genshin specifically is most quests feel like they're bloated. You go to do a 10-minute quest and you spend an hour in dialogue, and then 10 minutes in combat, and then another hour in dialogue just to end the quest. Here you just go, you get the quest, you do what's required in the quest ends, you get your reward. It's very enjoyable. And speaking of quest, my most favorite part of this is the events. The event system in this game is handled very well. Currently there is an underground treasure hunt going on, but the events are handled very well. They are interacted with the game. They are short. Yes, they are time gated, but I prefer it that way because sometimes I can skip a couple days of doing events and then come a week later and do like 8 days worth of events and just get all of the rewards all in one. That's perfectly fine with me. But sometimes, for some people, they worry about missing out. And I hate that as well. The best thing about this game is events stay. Events don't go away. Events don't just leave. Events just don't magically stop being there anymore. Once you come and you start an event will stay. And you can come and you can do the event whenever you want and still get the rewards. Yes, there are 1 or 2 time-gated events that are more of smaller events that they're just keeping in the game just to give to you, like the login events. The amount of login events this game have, this game is very generous, and if you want and you sink the time into the game, you will get a lot more than you can ever understand. The game is a very generous game, and I am grateful for that. I have been playing this game almost non-stop since I got it. Sadly, I didn't play on release because I wasn't sure if I wanted to play another gacha Mihoyo game. But sitting down, thinking about it, seeing all of the reviews, seeing all of the gameplay, I said, you know what? I love Kafka, and I'm gonna play this game and I'm gonna get me a Kafka. And I did. So, thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Well, technically, this is a watched video for once. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do stuff like this on my account, but I thought it's not gonna hurt to try new things. I do hope this content was helpful and you enjoyed it. So yeah, This is I don't know how to end videos like this. Leave a comment or like down below. Follow if you thought this was helpful. Bye bye.